Chapter 561 Chapter 561, Treasure Trove Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_. To think that this fire-water secret grounds would exist in a dimension of its own. This fire-water emperor's cultivation state must have definitely defied the heavens. He must be someone who was crazy strong. The moment Lin Fan pulled Fairy Hongyun with him into the secret ground, his body was torn at by the berserk energy currents surging in from the surrounding dimensional void. Lin Fan released a counter-aura around his surroundings, keeping the berserk energy currents at bay. Fairy Hongyun wanted to unleash everything she had to keep out the energy currents. However, she realized that Lin Fan's counter-aura was already doing the job, leaving her shocked beyond words. To think that Lin Fan would be this strong. Unexpected, truly. I have underestimated your powers still. This dimensional torrent could be considered to have the powers of a divine celestial level 1, true state being. Without the use of a treasure, I wouldn't be able to defend against it at all, and would just be shred into minced meat in the blink of an eye, Fairy Hongyun remarked. Lin Fan smiled indifferently, not bothered with his surroundings in the least bit. Right now, his entire body was like a sharp blade cutting through this dimensional torrent. We're going to cross through this area real soon now. Time to raise our awareness level, Lin Fan warned. Yes, Fairy Hongyun nodded her head. She had not expected things to turn out as such, where the ancient race beings would slaughter her fellow sect members and steal their talisman papers to gain access. Right now, Fairy Hongyun was feeling a little worried in her heart, wondering if anything had happened to the remaining fellow sect members of hers. After all, the ancient race beings were really cruel and powerful. If her sect members were to bump into them, there was no guarantee that they could hold out against them. Not long after, Lin Fan passed through the dimensional torrent and arrived at this new place together with Fairy Hongyun. This world seemed like a merger of the shades of red and blue. Right before their very eyes was a gigantic ocean. One could not tell the boundaries of this ocean with just a single look. There was no hint at all towards the sort of dangers that might be awaiting them in this place. And just as Lin Fan and Fairy Hongyun were ready to tread forth, that calm ocean suddenly raged into a frenzy, with gigantic waves forming. Suddenly, a bright flash of light pierced forth from the surface of the ocean. To think that there would be more beings of the thousands of races arriving. Time to kill them and snatch over their bodies. From the deep ends of the ocean, a small, blue-colored water spirit army gathered. These water spirits were formed from the gigantic ocean. Without a definite shape, their bodies gleamed with a dark blue hue, ripples moving up and down their formless bodies. Be careful. These are water spirits, Fairy Hongyun could not help but warn. Lin Fan had not expected naturally born spirits to exist within this secret ground. His spirits wavered slightly as his sword will burst forth, killing one of the water spirits instantly. To think that these water spirits would possess a desolate celestial cultivation state on their own. Not only that, they were clumped together densely. Even if it were a divine celestial level 1, true state being who dropped into their midst due to carelessness, he would definitely find it tricky to deal with. Ding, congratulations on killing water spirit, Ding, obtained water chi of the 5 elements. Upon hearing the notifications from the system, Lin Fan's face changed. To think that killing these water spirits would help him obtain the water of the 5 elements. This was unexpected. Even though Demon City had evolved once by now, it was only supported by pure power as a foundation. While Lin Fan had gathered the earth component of the 5 elements, he did not have any clues at all regarding the other 4 elements. Therefore, the fact that he could obtain water of the 5 elements just by killing this water spirit caused him to feel a little puzzled. Even though this was just a strain of the water element, the water spirits made up for it in terms of quantity. If he were to kill all of them, he might just be able to gather enough of the water element. To think that this living being would dare to kill our comrade. Damn it. Everyone, let's devour him and steal his body. The water spirit army began to cause a frenzied ruckus, apparently angered over Lin Fan's actions. The waves surged up, covering the entire heaven and earth. Let us hurry up and dodge these water spirits. If we were to be surrounded by them, it'd be hard to break out of their offenses. Fairy Hongyun said nervously. Observing the army properly, Fairy Hong Yun noticed that some of them were at the divine celestial level 1, true state cultivation state. In fact, there were even divine celestial level 2, realm state water spirits amongst them. If they were truly surrounded by them, they might very well be exhausted to death just fighting against them. No matter. Lin Fan waved his hand dismissively. Initially, Lin Fan had wanted to make haste on entering this place. However, upon discovering that these water spirits possessed strains of the water element, he was really excited. Demon City, come on out! The moment the big ancient demon appeared, he howled out in fury. Killing out towards these water spirits, he snatched away the water element from their very bodies. Damn it! How dare this living being kill our comrades as well? One of the divine celestial level 2, realm state water spirits hollered out in anger on seeing this. He wielded a pitchfork with his arm, which shone with a deep blue hue as well. A closer look at it would reveal that it was a middle-grade Dao weapon. Water God Realm, yelling out, a bright beam of light burst forth from the body of the water spirit. This light covered all of the water spirits, and raised their power levels in the process. Slapping out with his palm, Lin Fan sent a boundless aura rippling out towards these water spirits. Under the might of this aura, the realm of that water spirit began to crack like a mirror, leaving deep scars all over it. Crack. With a grab of that gigantic hand of his, Lin Fan captured a large number of water spirits within his fist. Giving it a tight squish, a thick stream of water element dripped down from his fingertips, into the demon city. What a dense amount of water element. Seems like the higher the cultivation states of these water spirits, the stronger is their water element. Lin Fan was exhilarated right now. To think that he would meet with such an encounter. For any other living being, the water element would be utterly useless, unless they could find a good way to cultivate it. However, to Lin Fan, the water element was something absolutely irreplaceable. This was especially important for the demon city. As long as he could gather a definite amount of the water element, he would be able to form the river of the water element. Once he could convert it into one of the true 5 elements, the power of Demon City would definitely rise up once more. Looking at the way Lin Fan was slaughtering the water spirits, Fairy Hong Yun felt her brows tighten, feeling somewhat incredulous. To think that the divine celestial level 2, realm state water spirit would be utterly defenseless towards its death. This was definitely unimaginable for Fairy Hong Yun. Even though its realm might not be the strongest of all, it was undeniable that the water spirit was still a true blue powerful divine celestial level 2, realm state being. Just what was the extent of this Lin Fan's strength? Fairy Hong Yun did not dare to imagine any further. Devour, Lin Fan hollered out as his unparalleled aura turned into a razor-sharp sword, cutting up these water spirits. Opening his mouth, the big ancient demon sucked in everything in one fell swoop, taking the water element that was formed from these water spirits into his stomach and cultivating while fusing it with itself. Everyone, run. That darned living being is devouring us. The water spirits screamed out in horror. Immediately, the water spirit army began to disperse, as they tried escaping into the world of the ocean below. The water spirits had not expected this living being to be this strong. HMPH, run? How can I possibly let you guys do that? For Lin Fan, this place was basically a treasure trove. Chapter 562 Chapter 562, Cultivate the Water Element River. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ The moment the doomsday calamity god fist slammed out, it covered the entire sky. In front of these innumerable and powerful water spirits, Lin Fan did not dare to be careless at all, as he punched out 9 whole times. 9 was the optimum number. Therefore, these 9 fists represented the peak of Lin Fan's strength. Instantly, 9 doomsday calamity god spirits stood towering between the heaven and earth, slaughtering out towards the water spirits. The water spirits were used to overwhelming everything with their advantage in numbers. To think that they would meet with a sicko such as Lin Fan. Lin Fan, just enough will do. We've still got to head up ahead to check things out. Fairy Hong Yun was looking at everything with a stunned expression right now. She had not expected Lin Fan to be this strong. To think that these water spirits were being slain like casual bugs. Even if she were to fall into their midst by accident, she would find herself in an extremely sticky situation. In fact, if she were even slightly careless, she might very well perish right here. All right, Lin Fan did not hesitate. The water element within the demon city was increasing by the minute. It was even developing towards forming a river by now. If he were to kill just that bit more, he would definitely be able to form his true water element river. However, Lin Fan was pretty bewildered right now. Just what sort of an existence was this fire-water emperor? To think that even the entrance of his burial grounds would be protected by such water spirits. Powerful being. He must be terrifyingly powerful. And also, what sort of a race was it that could produce a powerful being such as the fire-water emperor? If this were the case, why didn't the heavenly Emperor Yuan mention anything about this? Unless this were to mean that the fire-water emperor existed in an era even before that of heavenly Emperor Yuan and the others. At this moment, Lin Fan was just traversing around the area. Slamming out fist after fist, his infinite power made contact with this boundless ocean. Big ancient demon. Devour the heaven and earth. Instantly, the energy level within Lin Fan's body surged upwards, as that everlasting power rippled through his body. As the big ancient demon opened his gigantic mouth, a huge vortex appeared. The suction power of this vortex was crazy. It was as though it wanted to devour the entire ocean altogether. This was practically an unfathomable image for Fairy Hong Yun, who was witnessing everything before her very eyes. Just what sort of crazy power must one possess in order to back a powerful attack as such? Burn. Instantly, Lin Fan ignited all the Shengyang pills within his storage. Turning into a long river, they flowed in the direction of the big ancient demon. The mythical parasol tree began to sprout leaves as well, as its power spread out immensely, boosting itself onto the body of the big ancient demon. Arg. This damned living being is trying to devour our core. Time to duke it out with him. The water spirits had not expected this living being to be this powerful. To think that it would go straight at devouring the core of their river. How could the water spirits tolerate something like this? If their core were to be devoured by a living being, they would have no more chance of existing at all. Lin Fan's gaze was cold right now. As he slammed out his fist, it turned into a continuous stream of energy and crushed the bodies of the water spirits, killing them immediately. The cultivation states of these water spirits weren't that high. Even after killing them, the experience points obtained were pretty limited. However, the most important thing for Lin Fan right now was to obtain the water element. Boundless and endless, the vast ocean was nearly devoured to its depth by the big ancient demon. Those existing water spirits were howling out continuously as they were destroyed. This infinite water element began to find its way, fusing within the demon city. Lin Fan, all of these water spirits are living beings. I don't think that there's a need to eradicate them down to the very last one. Looking at how Lin Fan was exterminating the water spirits wave after wave, Fairy Hong Yun commented with some sort of reluctance. Hong Yun, even if I don't kill them, the ancient race beings are going to kill all of them. Besides, after killing them, I can use them to raise my cultivation state. With that, I'll possess even more power to fight against the ancient race. Lin Fan did not stop his actions. In fact, his attacks got even faster. Fairy Hong Yun went silent upon hearing Lin Fan's words. She could agree with Lin Fan's logic. Suddenly, Lin Fan caught sight of a water country at the depth of the ocean. This was the territory of the water spirits. Seas. Lin Fan was overwhelmed with joy right now. As long as he could seize the water country, his water element river was bound to succeed for sure. The aura of the water element being emitted from the water country was 10,000, number, 100 million times stronger than that being emitted from the water spirits themselves. The fire-water secret grounds had existed for a long time now, and so had the water spirits that were born here. This water country was a treasure that was formed by the water element of the 5 elements. Indeed, a secret ground which is yet to be discovered as a true secret ground. Even though there are risks everywhere, there are encounters along with them as well. Lin Fan could not help but acknowledge in his heart. They were the first batch of living beings to step foot into and explore this fire-water secret ground. Even though a large number of treasures would definitely be lost after the exploration process, who knew how many more hidden treasures were in the deeper areas of the secret grounds? As such, this place would still definitely be a treasure trove for future adventurers. This water country was good stuff indeed. The only reason why the sect members of Fairy Hongyun did not reap it in was because they were being chased and hunted down by the ancient race beings. Because of that, they had to disregard it, benefiting Lin Fan in the process. With that, the big ancient demon stretched out his heaven-encompassing arm and grabbed out at everything, holding the water country within its palms. With a massive holler, the muscles of the big ancient demon expanded wildly. The mountains shook, and the trees withered. The moment the water country was uprooted by the big ancient demon, the entire ocean began to dry up. Damned living being! How dare he destroy our core? The water spirits wailed out. However, they were thoroughly helpless, as they could only witness their core being snatched away by this big ancient demon. At the moment the water country was being pulled away, they found themselves being sucked towards their water country helplessly as well. Cultivate, slapping out millions of fists, Lin Fan used his energy to bolster the demon city, causing it to sparkle with a brilliant glow. Cultivate, conate 5 elements, water element river. Instantly, the water country began to melt and turn into a river of sorts. This river possessed an endless amount of energy as it dove right into the demon city. V-ring. Suddenly, the demon city began to vibrate violently. Amongst the 5 elements, 2 of them began to emit bright lights. One of them was the earth element river, and the other one was none other than the water element river. At this moment, the water element river finally finished congealing, as Lin Fan felt exhilarated. Indeed, there were tons of encounters awaiting one in secret grounds. In the blink of an eye, Lin Fan could feel the power level of his demon city climbing up, turning way stronger than ever before. After congealing the water element river, Lin Fan could feel a vast difference within his body as well. Water could flood everything in the world. As the river passed through his body, he could feel all sorts of impurities being washed away. He was cleansed by this marvelous river, as his mental state felt extremely refreshed and reached its peak level. From this day forth, nothing evil would be able to affect him. In fact, even the impurities that were created through the process of cultivation would cease to exist from this point onwards. Fairy Hongyun no longer had any comments to make. She was utterly flabbergasted by Lin Fan. The sort of power he possessed was definitely defying any natural order in this world. To think that the vast ocean would be forcefully cultivated just like that. All right, let's go. Lin Fan was extremely pleased within his heart right now. The moment he entered this place, he had already gained a large bounty. Seemed like his life's affinity was definitely there. Translator's thoughts. Lam_lam_. I know the terms are confusing. Please bear with it. Also, I know that it was mentioned as Earth Spirit River earlier on. I swear that that's the term the author used. He just changed it to Earth Element River at this point. Was considering Earth, Water Elemental instead, but the full term is in fact Earth, Water of the 5 elements. Also, even his description of the river isn't really exact and clear as well from the very beginning. As much as I love the jokes of our author, I've got to say that he likes throwing in terms before explaining them, so T_T will make do for now. Alright? Any information I get, I'll be sure to update you guys as much as I can within the text as well. Cheers. Chapter 563. Chapter 563, A Squeeze of a Single Claw. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_degree. If you're killing all of these water spirits to retrieve their water element, does it mean that your treasure is lacking the 5 elements? Fairy Hongyun was pretty alarmed right now. To think that this person would be this strong. The amount of power that was exerted by him was definitely way beyond that of a divine celestial level 2 realm state. Hearing Fairy Hongyun's question, Lin Fan did not hide anything as he nodded his head. Yes. I've already gathered the earth and water element of the 5 elements. I wonder if I can get to find the remaining 3. Fairy Hongyun gave a low grunt for a moment before raising her head. Amongst the conate 5 elements, the fire, water and earth elements are abundant and easy to discover. On the other hand, the conate metal and wood elements are insanely difficult to find. However, I just happen to know of 2 places which possess a large amount of metal and wood elements. Where? Lin Fan asked with surprise and anticipation. Based on Lin Fan's thoughts, if he were to be able to gather the 5 elements, Demon City would definitely be filled with an everlasting aura. With that constant energy revolving around it, Lin Fan had the confidence to push it up to the ranks of the utmost treasures. And just as Fairy Hong Yun was about to reply, something happened in the distance. A single glance over and it was clear that a man and a woman were surrounded by a group of 3 ancient race beings. By the looks of it, it was evident that they weren't going to be able to hold out much longer. Senior brother Tianyun. Senior sister Muqing. The moment Fairy Hong Yun caught sight of them, her face turned pale. Without even bothering to conceal herself, she bolted over. The moment Lin Fan saw this, he followed tightly behind her without hesitation as well. Junior sister Muqing. The 3 of them are exceptionally devious. We must make sure that we do not separate. Slapping out with his fist, Tianyun was moving in circles along with their enemies. Got it. Muqing was pristine and gorgeous, revealing a sunny sort of beauty. Her eyes flashed brightly as her hands were constantly moving. Senior sister, senior brother. I'll assist you guys. At that moment, a crisp voice rang over. Turning their heads over, both of them were elated. It's junior sister Hong Yun, this is good. With the inclusion of our junior sister, we can deal with these 3 ancient race beings and kill them. The moment Tianyun caught sight of Fairy Hong Yun, his face was beaming with a strange sort of glow. Junior sister, you aren't alone? Who's that man behind you? Looking at the man who had followed behind her junior sister, Muqing's face was a little cautious. The moment Tianyun heard these words, he turned his head around. Instantly, he frowned in slight displeasure. However, given the pressing issue of taking down these ancient race beings, he did not pursue the matter further. We've got 2 more living beings arriving. As the 3 ancient race beings caught sight of Fairy Hong Yun and Lin Fan, they grinned. By now, Lin Fan and Fairy Hong Yun had arrived by the sides of both of them. Senior sister, where are the others? Fairy Hong Yun asked. Just as we gathered at the entrance of the secret grounds, for some unknown reason, the ancient race beings managed to discover us. With that, all of us entered the secret grounds together and got separated due to that. I've got no idea where the others are right now. Muqing replied. Standing there, Lin Fan could sense the animosity in Tianyun's eyes, as though he was keeping his guard up, seeming somewhat unfriendly. However, none of that mattered to Lin Fan. If this guy did not know what was good for him and would dare to bother Lin Fan would definitely teach him a lesson. Junior sister Hong Yun, now is not the time for that. These 3 ancient race beings are really powerful. We've got to hurry up and kill them before looking for the others. This time around, there's a large group of ancient race beings who have entered this place. If we were to delay this till the ancient race army arrives, we would definitely have to leave our bodies here, Tianyun chimed in. Pitiful living beings, this newly discovered secret ground of yours shall witness the descent of our great ancient race army before long. By then, all of you shall have to die here. One of the 3 ancient race beings jeered haughtily. Kill those 2 men. We can enjoy ourselves with the 2 women later on. The other 2 mocked in laughter. HMPH, ancient race beings. Don't you dare go overboard. Today, with me, Tianyun around, none of you shall be able to harm my junior sisters. With that, Tianyun stepped forth as his aura rumbled fiercely. However, because he had expended way too much earlier on, his chi was evidently weaker in comparison. Lin Fan took a look at the 3 ancient race beings before him. All of them were in the true state. Weaklings. As for the 2 sect members of Fairy Hong Yun, both of them were in the true state as well. However, compared to the 3 ancient race beings, they were far weaker. Even in the same state, there were stronger and weaker beings. Even though Fairy Hong Yun belonged in the true state as well, she was even stronger than her own senior brother and sister. And of course, someone like Lin Fan was definitely the top of everyone else who were in the Divine Celestial Level 2, realm state. Puny living beings, die. With that, the auras of the 3 ancient race beings burst forth furiously. Compressed into a single line of force, their aura shot out at Lin Fan's group. Tianyun's face focused up without faltering in the face of danger. Slapping out hundreds of palm strikes into the air, he deployed several ultimate moves. Junior sisters, wait till I distract their attention. By then, circle around them and kill them from the sides. Tianyun ordered. Yes, Muqing nodded her head. Tianyun had no intention of wanting to know who this Lin Fan fellow was. From the start, he was already pretty pissed off looking at this Lin Fan appearing together with his junior sister. All of these ancient race beings are just ants. I can kill them with the back of my palm. You guys just stay back and watch. Deploying, so near, yet so far, Lin Fan appeared standing before Tianyun instantly. What are you trying to do? This isn't something you can handle. Looking at how this stranger had dared to stand before him without realizing the danger, Tianyun's face changed. Evidently, there was a feeling of rage mixed within his emotions. Muqing frowned as well. Even though she did not know who this man who had arrived together with her junior sister was, how could he be this careless before the ancient race beings? Big words. Upon hearing the words of Lin Fan, all three of the ancient race beings bellowed out loudly. To think that this guy would dare to be so cocky at the brink of his death. Lin Fan turned around at Tianyun and Muqing before grinning with the side of his lips and grabbing out at the void with a claw-like motion. This was a really calm, gentle claw, without any violent vibrations or tremors. However, this one simple claw motion was enough to cause the three ancient race beings to lose every single last bit of color from their faces. Suddenly, the three of them felt as though the entire surrounding void had been sealed up. To their horror, they couldn't budge their bodies in the slightest bit at all. Reaching into the void with his 5 fingers, Lin Fan tightened his grasp as he closed his fingers. Bam, 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 instantly, 3 gigantic explosions reverberated through the void. As though they were squeezed by some formless power, all 3 ancient race beings were turned into a blood mist instantly. Ding! Congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 1, True State Ancient Race Being. The essence chi of the 3 ancient race beings was sucked in immediately by the big ancient demon as well. This, Tianyun and Muqing felt their hearts take a swoop down as they witnessed everything unfolding before their eyes. To think that the 3 ancient race beings, who had given them so much pressure, would be squeezed to death by this stranger. Just what sort of power should he possess in order to achieve that feat? Fairy Hangyun smiled gently. Evidently, all of this was something that she had already expected, as she apparently did not see anything wrong with this. When she turned around and caught the dumbfounded expressions of her 2 seniors, she let out a sigh. If they had caught sight of how he cleared up that entire swarm of water spirits earlier on, their hearts would definitely pop right out of their mouths. Compared to that, squishing these 3 ancient race beings to death was nothing shocking at all. Chapter 564 Chapter 564, Skyrocketing Jealousy Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_s So strong. Muqing looked at Lin Fan with a stumped face. She had not expected this man, who was with her junior sister, to be this strong. However, Tianyun wasn't looking so good right now. This man had one-upped him right in their very faces. Not only that, each time he caught sight of this man making casual banter with his junior sister, he would feel a pinch of displeasure. Junior sister Hangyun was not only beautiful, her disposition was really demure as well. Within the sect, he wasn't the only one who had taken a liking to her. She was the apple of the eyes of many senior brothers up above as well. Back when they were surrounded by the 3 ancient race beings, Tianyun was especially worked up when he realized that his junior sister Hangyun had arrived. If they were to go through some trying situations in this secret ground together, they might have a chance of blossoming some mutual feelings. But, by the looks of the current situation, everything had been disrupted by this random stranger. How could Tianyun cheer up at a moment like this? Junior sister, this person is? Tianyun asked with a tinge of jealousy. Senior brother and sister, this man right here is Lin Fan. He is the pride of the human race. Back when I was being hunted down by the Evil Alliance, he was the one who had rescued me, Hangyun replied. Evil Alliance? The moment Muqing and Tianyun heard the name of the organization, their entire faces froze up. At the same time, waves of respect were flooding through their eyes. Evidently, they had experienced the viciousness of the Evil Alliance for themselves as well. Lin Fan, the 2 of them are my senior brother and sister, Tianyun and Muqing. Hangyun followed up with the introductions. Looking at the both of them, Lin Fan smiled casually. Back when I entered the secret grounds together with Han Yun, there were already ancient race beings present. I'm afraid that the ancient race army would be arriving really soon, Lin Fan continued. If that's the case, we should make haste and look for the rest of them. After all, this place here is simply way too dangerous. If the ancient race army were to seal up the entrance later on, none of us would be leaving this place forever, Mu Qing commented worriedly. Calling her Hong Yun directly, isn't that real close, eh? If anyone didn't know, they might even mistake you two for a couple. Looking at how Lin Fan was so used to calling out her name so casually, Tianyun's heart was aching terribly. However, what could he even do right now? It was evident that the other party's strength was way beyond his. How was he going to show off his charm now? Junior sister Hong Yun, are you able to try and make use of your unique gift to sense the location of our elders? Mu Qing asked. I'll give it a try. Fairy Hong Yun did not know whether she could sense them in this fire-water secret grounds as well. However, with the way things were right now, she could only give it a shot. Lin Fan was particularly curious towards this unique gift of Fairy Hong Yun, wondering how it worked. Suddenly, Lin Fan could sense a mysterious wave motion being emanated from the body of Fairy Hong Yun. This wave motion did not seem as though it was a skill or possessed any form of consciousness within it. It was hard to describe or explain. I sense it, albeit blurrier than usual. They should be in that rough direction. Fairy Hong Yun's eyes burst wide open abruptly as she remarked. At this moment, Lin Fan frowned. A series of wave motions were being echoed out from the direction behind them. Not only that, this motion was really frequent, as though someone was treading through the void. The ancient race beings are coming. Let's leave. Without further ado, Lin Fan flicked his robes and dragged Hong Yun with him, leaping into the void immediately while bursting forth with an immense speed. Such speed. Mu Qing's consciousness was rattled right now. However, as she caught sight of those razor-sharp energy currents of the void striking at Lin Fan's body, she exclaimed in shock. The faster one's speed was while traversing through the void, the heavier the damage that would be inflicted on their bodies by the void torrents. They had suddenly realized that the speed at which this man was dragging them through the void was impossibly fast. In fact, even their elders might not be able to match up with this speed. If only they knew that Lin Fan was deploying his so near, yet so far while taking them through the voids with them, that fact would probably cause their eyeballs to pop right out of their sockets. Once upon a time, there was a divine celestial level 1, true state being of the thousands of races who had tried deploying a physical body skill while traversing through the void. By the time he came out of the void, the meat was scraped off his body entirely, leaving nothing but a single set of white bones. Therefore, if anyone wanted to travel through the void with a rocket speed, they must know of the tough requirements that their bodies were required to have. Looking at the crazy speed of Lin Fan, Mu Qing couldn't help but wonder deeply, just how mighty is the physical body state of this man from the human race. Following the breakneck speed of Lin Fan, the deep blue void had long since disappeared. Replacing it was a sky of bright red clouds. At the same time, the temperature was steadily rising, as though they had entered a blazing hell. The fire-water emperor, there's the fire element around here. Han Yun remarked after checking out her surroundings. There are 2 connate 5 elements in this secret ground? Lin Fan was startled for a moment. If that were truly the case, his entry into this place would definitely reap in big bounties for him. No matter what it took, he definitely had to obtain this fire element. The Fire-Water Emperor is a powerful being of time immemorial, who had understood the true meaning of fire and water. As such, every single breath he took would spout out both connate water and fire. Even though he had fallen eventually, the true meaning of the fire and water he had cultivated would not vanish just like that. Now that such a long time has passed, this place must definitely possess an infinite amount of connate water and fire. Hong Yun had a broad spectrum of knowledge. Back in the sect, she would always spend her time reading through books and records intensively. The genre didn't matter at all, she just loved reading. Therefore, over time, the amount of knowledge accumulated in her mind has reached a terrifying state. The more Lin Fan looked at Hong Yun, the more of a liking he was taking to this girl. Bloody hell. This was just a walking encyclopedia. If he could bring her along by her side, he would definitely know everything about the ancient saint world in time to come. If only he could transfer all of the knowledge within Hong Yun's mind into his own. What a wondrous thing that would be. But of course, those were just mere thoughts. If he were to transfer all of Hong Yun's knowledge over to himself, Hong Yun would definitely turn into a bloody retard. Hey, guys. Take a look. Those fire spirits are absorbing the connate fire element and cultivating. Looking down below, Mooching exclaimed. At the moment right below them, a several hundred feet tall flaming giant was devouring the endless connate fire element and cultivating all sorts of skills. Just like the water spirits, these fire spirits were connate beings who were born from the fire element itself. Their cultivation speed was insanely horrific as well. Treasure trove. This place is just a treasure trove. Looking at the sea of flames, Lin Fan was excited beyond words. If anyone were to cultivate a fire-based skill, they could probably master it right up to its peak status in the blink of an eye within this connate fire element. After all, this connate fire element was a priceless treasure. Born from the world itself, something like this was only available to those with affinity. How dare yet another living being arrive to disturb the rest of our great fire-water emperor? This is a crime punishable by death. All of a sudden, the eyes of the flaming giant burst wide open as it howled out into the sky in rage. As though they had a consciousness of their own, the flames on its body began to rumble furiously, forming all sorts of strange shapes. Out of nowhere, a massive burst of energy struck down from the void, disintegrating that flaming giant into dust instantly. A strain of pure fire element fused within Lin Fan's body instantly. Big Lin Fan had really struck it right big time right now. There were indeed treasures lying around every single corner in this undiscovered secret ground. If not for the fact that he had met with Fairy Hong Yun, Lin Fan might have never ever known about this place at all. Not only that, it would probably take him forever to gather up the 5 elements. There's a living being trying to kill us all. Comrades, let us band together to fight against the invader. The moment Lin Fan killed that flaming giant, all the fire spirits were enraged together. Within that sea of flames, all of the fire spirits gathered together in a dense patch and howled furiously. A myriad of fire-based skills burst forth into the void. What the hell is wrong with you? We could have passed through this place safely, but why did you have to kill that fire spirit because of your itchy fingers? Now that there are so many fire spirits, how are we supposed to get through this place? Looking at how the fire spirits were retaliating against Lin Fan's indiscriminate killing of their comrade, Tianyun was secretly gloating in his heart. His junior sister would definitely dislike someone like this who was totally oblivious to the bigger picture. However, something unbelievable was slowly unfolding right before his very eyes. Chapter 565 Middle Grade Dao Weapon Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_degree, Lin Fan, hurry up and kill them, lest the ancient race catch up with us. Even though Fairy Hong Yun was gentle and benevolent by nature, she had also understood something along this journey. Even if they did not kill these fire spirits, the ancient race beings or evil beings of the thousands of races would kill them to raise their own strength as well. If the enemies were to raise their power levels because of it, it would just spell trouble for the rest of them from the thousands of races, or even her own sect members as well. Yes, Lin Fan looked at Hong Yun, a little stunned. However, he chuckled almost immediately. What a fantastic woman this was. To think that she would be so understanding about things. Junior sister, Tianyun did not know what to say any longer. He, for one, knew that his junior sister was kind by nature, and did not like killing at all. But watching how his junior sister was now assisting this man in massacring these fire spirits, he did not know how to express this indignance he was feeling in his heart at all. Senior brother, hurry up and help out. Fairy Hong Yun called out. Aye. At this moment, Tianyun truly wanted to spit out a mouthful of blood. Not only did his junior sister not hate this man because of this issue, she had even requested for him to assist that man. Tianyun truly did not wish to think any further. Hong Yun, I only need your help. Your senior brother is way too weak. If he drops in their midst, he's almost definitely going to be killed by these fire spirits. By then, he'll only delay our time. Lin Fan chimed in. Holy F***ck, hearing these words was akin to having someone hammer straight on the heart for Tianyun as it thumped loudly. This guy was evidently belittling him right in his face. Don't look down on me. Tianyun could not bear with this any further. To think that this guy would disparage him as such. If he didn't perform some kills right now, that man would definitely take him for a weakling. Demon City, Lin Fan took out his Demon City entirely. Now that it was fused with the water element river, the power level of Demon City had risen multiple folds by now. Slamming out with his fist, the big ancient demon extinguished the flames. With that, countless fire spirits were converted into connate fire element and fused with the Demon City. Combining their forces, Lin Fan and Hong Yun were working hard at killing these fire spirits. Mu Qing did not stand by idly as she rendered her assistance as well, extinguishing multiple fire spirits with the sweep of her hand. Tianyun looked over at Lin Fan, feeling extremely disgruntled right now. Crying out loud, he put in even more efforts in killing these fire spirits. Looking at Tianyun, who was riled up and frantically killing the fire spirits for him over just a single sentence, Lin Fan sniggered in his heart. Did this guy really think that he could play with yours truly with just that level of intellect? However, Lin Fan really did think that Tianyun was pretty cute as well. Seemed like all the living beings who were born in the ancient saint world itself were pretty cute. If it were someone who had ascended from the lower worlds, they would definitely not get so worked up over a single sentence of his. After all, most of them were crafty old foxes, who would not even bat a single eyelid while tricking someone to death. Damned living beings. How dare you guys kill our comrades? We'll have you dead. At this moment, a gigantic fire spirit, which was almost 1,000 feet tall, howled out wildly. The flames on his body rumbled continuously, eventually blazing into an armor of flames. Roar. A maddened roar shook the entire world as he wielded an endless amount of scorching connate fire element in his palms. Fire spirit, your opponent shall be me. Angered to the brink of insanity by Lin Fan, Tianyun yelled out angrily at the fire spirit. Instantly, he threw out a flurry of palm strikes. Every single palm strike was bursting with power, endless and continuous. It was as though Tianyun was taking the fire spirit as Lin Fan. If this happened normally, Tianyun would probably have to expend quite a bit of effort to take down the fire spirit. However, it was as though Tianyun was on steroids right now, as he slapped the fire spirit to death. The moment the fire spirit dissipated, its connate fire element was absorbed by the Demon City instantly. After he killed a big bunch of fire spirits, Lin Fan turned his head around gently. Looking at how Tianyun killed that 1,000 feet tall fire spirit, he felt his heart beat a little faster as well. Was that guy on crack right now? But oh well, this was good as well. This would only serve to increase the rate of killing. Lin Fan slapped his storage. Instantly, all the Shenyang pills that he had cultivated in the time earlier were all shattered immediately. A gigantic true skill seed danced around in the Demon City. In the blink of an eye, thousands of palm strikes burst forth. As though it was on crack too, Demon City began to expand rapidly as the big ancient demon grew even more berserk. Rock's breath, the big ancient demon howled furiously as his eyes shone with a deadly gaze. Opening his mouth, he swallowed everything in his face. Unable to resist it, countless fire spirits found themselves being sucked into the mouth of the big ancient demon. What a terrifying man. Mu Qing, who had just killed a fire spirit, found her heart freezing up at this scene before her. This was way too horrific for her to watch. Demon God Wheel. Heaven and Earth Demon Door. Grabbing into the void with a vice-like grip, Lin Fan tore the void open wildly. A demonic aura surrounded the entire Heaven and Earth Demon Door as it appeared through the void with a loud thud. Suppress. Instantly, the Heaven and Earth Demon Door let out a boundless amount of demonic chi. One by one, figures of demon gods wielding weapons with all of their arms charged out. Just like the black-white impermanents, they started grabbing the fire spirits and tossing them into the Demon City. Emptiness Sword Will. Lin Fan was going all out right now as that Emptiness Sword Will filled the entire sky, tearing the void apart like it was a piece of white paper. A dense amount of tightly packed Emptiness Sword Wills pierced their way through the fire spirits. P-show. P-show. In the blink of an eye, there was not even a single living being left in the sea of flames. Is this a man or a god? Looking at that mighty Lin Fan, Tianyun could not help but feel his mind shudder. He had only killed several hundreds of them after all the painstaking efforts. To think that this man could be this terrifying to sweep all of them out with the flip of his hand. Compared to Lin Fan, Tianyun realized that he was truly way too far away from him. Following Lin Fan's explosively intensive killing, Demon City shone brightly with a yellow, blue, and red shade. The brilliance of these three beams of light shone through the world, piercing through the heavens immediately. Conate fire element, congeal, fire element river, Lin Fan hollered out as all his power surged forth as well, assisting the Demon City in cultivating the fire element river. Within that sea of flames, an altar of a fire god stood upright in the middle. Without any hesitation, Lin Fan seized at it immediately. Like sword wills of their own, Lin Fan's 5 fingers sliced through everything. Any fire spirit that wanted to defend their fire god altar were decimated instantly. Tossing the fire god country into his demon city, the fire element river started jerking furiously. All of the fire spirits who had just lost their country howled out madly, leaping at the demon city, wanting to seize back their fire god country. HMPH. Throwing yourselves at death's door. Saving me some effort, eh? Seeing this, Lin Fan was obviously elated. Since they wanted to toss themselves right in, he would naturally accept their deaths. Bam! The big ancient demon yelled out as that colossal body of his was suddenly filled with an endless amount of flames. These flames possessed a will of their own, containing an indefinite amount of power within them. Instantly, a gigantic river descended from the sky, pouring down onto the body of the big ancient demon. However, the flames were not extinguished because of it. Instead, it began to fuse with the water, causing a frightening glow to burst forth. To think that such a change would happen after congealing the conate fire element, Lin Fan was stunned on witnessing the scene before him. Lin Fan, your treasure is evolving. Hurry up and cultivate it. At this moment, Fairy Hong Yun's reminder rang through. All right, Lin Fan was still in a state of astonishment. He had not expected a level up to take place. In that instant, the conate earth, water and fire element began to coil around one another before, shrinking into a compressed ball of liquid that was only the size of a fist. The shape of the liquid ball was changing rapidly before turning into physical words. Earth, water, fire. These 3 words that were shining with a mysterious glow began to revolve around the body of the big ancient demon. Then, they flew into the demon city. Just like brandings, they were etched in 3 directions. Instantly, it was as though the power level of the big ancient demon was seated on a rocket that was bursting forth to the moon. Desolate celestial upper level. Desolate celestial full cultivation state. Divine celestial level 1, true state. Ding, congratulations. Demon City has evolved into a middle-grade Dao weapon. Chapter 566 Chapter 566, Trying to steal my bound equipment? Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_, what a beast. At this moment, Lin Fan was starting to realize that his life was barely even comparable to that of a treasure. On his own, he was taking such a long time to raise his cultivation states. However, the demon city was skyrocketing under his own cultivation and grooming. Just as if it were riding on a rocket, there it went. Pew, pew. Just like that, it surpassed a few cultivation states. However, Lin Fan understood as well that the bloodline of the big ancient demon played a big part in all of this as well. The big ancient demon could be considered as the one and only king of all the ancient beasts. In order for him to rise as the ruler of all the ancient beasts, his bloodline must have been something that no one could compare with. However, the only regret right now was that the big ancient demon had fallen in the Xuanwang world. In order to revive itself, it used its demon bloodline as a bait to deceive the strain of consciousness from Xuanwang world's consciousness into forming an embodiment herself. Even though the bloodline had dispersed, the big ancient demon was the royalty of all ancient beasts. Even if his bloodline dried up entirely, he could regenerate it afresh given enough time. Therefore, everything that Lin Fan was doing right now was to regenerate the bloodline of the big ancient demon, so that he could regain his past glory as that unparalleled powerful being who had ruled over all ancient times. When that time came, Lin Fan would pull the Ancient One into this world as well. With that, he would definitely have the confidence of going into a bloodbath against the 8 utmost beings of the ancient race. It's a Dao weapon. Tianyun could not hide his envious gaze towards Demon City, which was floating in the sky. For all the living beings of the thousands of races in the ancient saint world, a single Dao weapon was something that was extremely difficult to obtain. In fact, some of them may not even possess a single one in their entire lives. Even though the Cloud Sect had was grand and strong, if one wanted a single Dao weapon, they would have to pay a large price for it. In fact, that price might even be a lifetime of poverty. This Dao weapon is indeed of the highest caliber. Even a top-tier weaponsmith may not be able to craft out something like this. Looking at the Demon City, Han Yun gasped. Han Yun, you've got some knowledge about weapon crafting as well? Lin Fan asked smilingly. Yep. I learned a little about the ways of weapon crafting from a weaponsmith within our sect, Han Yun replied. Weaponsmith? The moment Lin Fan heard this, he was a little stunned. Wasn't it said that the beings of the thousands of races couldn't craft weapons of their own? How would there be weaponsmiths then? With this, Lin Fan was somewhat confused. Han Yun gave off a mysterious smile. Actually, it's true that the beings of the thousands of races out there aren't able to craft weapons on their own. However, our sect has managed to capture an ancient race being who knew how to craft weapons. Using a mysterious controlling technique, we had managed to keep him in the sect for the sole purpose of crafting weapons for us. Lin Fan nodded his head, feeling a little astonished in his heart. Indeed, the beings of the thousands of races possessed an incredible amount of wisdom in their actions. Since they could not craft weapons on their own, they would then kidnap ancient race beings who could. With that, they could tamper with their heads and brainwash them into crafting weapons for the sects. At the same time, Lin Fan was filled with a deep curiosity towards this controlling technique. However, didn't this technique seem somewhat vile? It was definitely inferior compared to that Thunder Trainer King of his. Way too inferior. Brother Tianyun, my gratitude for your kind assistance in killing those fire spirits earlier on. Evidently, those fire spirits are far from your match once you showcase your explosive strength. Clapping Tianyun on the back of shoulders, Lin Fan chuckled. Tianyun snorted coldly and rolled his eyes back. It was as though he was implying, did you see that? How dare you insinuate me as a burden? Haha. To think that these little kiddos would possess a Dao weapon as well. Seems like the heavens are blessing this old man here. Just then, a dark and sinister voice boomed out from the void. Suddenly, a blood-red titanic arm reached out through the void and grabbed at Demon City. Lin Fan, hurry up and retrieve your Dao weapon. It's the infinite bat old master. The moment Han Yun caught sight of this blood-red arm, her face froze up immediately. Through the frantic gaze of Fairy Han Yun's eyes, one could tell of her fear towards this infinite bat old master. Oh ho! To think that a young little brat would know of my mighty name, the great infinite bat old master. Not bad, not bad. Once I'm done reaping in this Dao weapon, I'll definitely take note to have a good taste of your little bratty blood. This sinister voice permeated through the void, such that one couldn't predict its direction at all. As for that gigantic blood-red arm, all 5 fingers were extremely thick and rough. On the fingertips were long, thin, and razor-sharp nails. It was as if anyone who was scratched by these blade-like nails would find themselves ripped into shreds instantly. Infinite Bat Old Master? The moment Tianyun and Muqing heard the name, they shuddered momentarily. It seemed as though they had just recalled something utterly horrifying. Bloody braindead F***CK. Steal my Dao weapon? I can even give it to you, that's if you can lift it up. Lin Fan did not know what sort of a being this infinite bat old master was. However, since he wanted the Dao weapon of yours truly, then yours truly shall give it to him. What are you trying to do? Fairy Han Yun's expression was changing, unable to comprehend Lin Fan's actions at all. Haha, not bad, not bad. On account that you're willing to hand over your Dao weapon obediently, this old master right here shall ensure that you have a quick and painless death later on. Evidently, Infinite Bat Old Master had not expected this fella to hand over his Dao weapon just like that, and was elated right now. This was a Dao weapon. A Dao weapon was something that everyone in this world would lust over. However, the moment that gigantic blood-red arm of the infinite Bat Old Master reached out to grab at the demon city, something horrifying happened. That blood-red arm which was dragging the demon city was suddenly pushed downwards and was torn apart continuously. It was as though something was pressing down on it. It seemed like the demon city possessed the strength of a stampede of bulls, entirely unstoppable. How could this be? The infinite Bat Old Master yelled out in shock. He could not believe that this gigantic blood arm of his, which had helped him reign over the world, couldn't take down a single Dao weapon. Lin Fan laughed coldly. Anything that was crafted out from the system belonged to him and him only. If anyone else tried getting their hands on it, they would definitely never ever succeed. This could all be summarized into a single saying: how dare you try to snatch a bound weapon? Are you bloody mentally handicapped? Screech. Screech. In a split second, this gigantic blood-red arm transformed into a multitude of blood-colored bats. These bats were pretty large, extending up to dozens of feet in size the moment they spread their wings. With these many blood-colored bats lining the void, every single last inch of the sky was covered entirely. This is an old demon who had ascended up from the bat world. He is vicious in his methods and specializes in sucking one's essence blood in order to raise his own cultivation state. He is pretty notorious within the ancient saint world as well, Fairy Hong Yun explained nervously. This infinite Bat Old Master is a tricky old devil to deal with, akin to fighting against an immortal being. As long as the blood bats exist, he would be able to reincarnate indefinitely. A long time ago, our sect exchanged blows with him as well. However, he managed to escape even after he was surrounded by our elders. This guy is really full of tricks. HMPH. Even though I do not know what sort of secret technique you're using, if you dare to hurt my blood bats, this old man here would definitely suck your blood dry. Instantly, the void rippled as a stark red figure stood upright in the sky. This figure had a head of long, blood-colored hair, with bloody eyes. His face was frightfully pale with extremely sharp teeth, looking every single bit like a demon. At this moment, the infinite Bat Old Master was holding on to 3 ancient race beings. Immediately, he tossed all of them over to his blood bats. Screech. Screech. All of the bats swarmed over and covered the bodies of the 3 ancient race beings instantly. By the time the bats were done with them and left, there was nothing left but 3 dried-up corpses of ancient race beings, without a single trace of blood from head to toe. At the same time, the blood bats were filled with a luscious and sinister glow after sucking the fresh blood of the ancient race beings. Noticing the cultivation state of the infinite Bat Old Master, Lin Fan frowned. Things were going to get sticky. Divine Celestial Level 3, Paradise State, this was the first time he was meeting someone who could transform an entire realm into a state of paradise. Time to run. Lin Fan did not wish to take the risk. This was especially the case given that he had a bunch of burdens with him. In fact, Tianyun and Muqing were already frozen solid just by the name of the infinite Bat Old Master itself. After all, it was a well-known fact that anyone who was caught in the hands of the infinite Bat Old Master would definitely suffer an extremely terrible death. Chapter 567 Chapter 567, Today, I'll take you on. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_degree, infinite Bat Old Master was pretty taken aback right now. To think that he couldn't take down that Dao weapon. This was way too unimaginable. Given his current cultivation state, even if it were an entire mountain, he would be able to lift it up with a single claw-like grab. He was absolutely determined to get this Dao weapon. He wouldn't give up just like this. A Dao weapon was something that was extremely hard to come across. Even after all his time in the ancient saint world, he hadn't seized even a single Dao weapon from anyone till now. Lad, even though this old man here doesn't know what sort of secret tricks you've been using, I'll have you know that anything this old man takes an eye on, he shall get it for sure. If you do not wish for your death to be worse than it should be, you should surrender now and hand over that Dao weapon of mine obediently. Infinite Bat Old Master looked at Lin Fan and the others with a look of belittlement. That swarm of huge blood bats flapped their wings open while screeching. Their bloodthirsty look caused Tianyun and the others to rattle within their hearts, unable to hide the look of fear on their faces. Even though the infinite bad old master wasn't exactly an earth-shattering existence, his methods were extremely cruel and vicious. In fact, even a powerful being who was of a higher cultivation state than the infinite bad old master might find himself dead against him in a moment of carelessness. With that, every single last drop of blood of his would be sucked dry, while his essence and soul would disintegrate entirely. One must never underestimate this old man at all. At the same time, Tianyun and the others were utterly exasperated. If it were any other powerful being of the paradise state, they might even have a chance of escaping. But, to think that the one they would bump into is a sicko like the infinite bad old master. At this moment, Tianyun and Muqing turned their gazes over to Lin Fan. It seemed like Lin Fan was the pillar of support in their hearts right now, as they entrusted every single last bit of hope onto him. Infinite bad old master? Taking a step forward, a ferocious aura burst forth from Lin Fan, suppressing every single blood bat in the vicinity. Even though these blood bats did not have a high cultivation state, they had their advantage in terms of numbers. That's right. That's this old man right here. Lad, hand over that Dao weapon, and this old man might be able to find that little bit of benevolence in his heart to spare the lives of you peasants, infinite bad old master replied. That edged nose of his gave a gentle sniff, able to sense the core of every single last living being in this world. Even though I've got to say that the human bloodline that's rumbling inside you with such vivacious energy will make for a lovely delicacy. This old man here would rear a living being such as yourself within my paradise. Every single day, I would suck out a little bit of your blood, ensuring that you live a lifetime of utter torment. However, if you were to hand over that Dao weapon in your hands, this old man here can vouch that your life will not come to harm. Right now, the infinite bad old master's mind was on getting his hands on that Dao weapon entirely. The reason why he had followed the Cloud sect into this secret ground was to get a good reaping, of course. To think that he would bump into a few disciples who had been isolated. And, to think that one of them even had a Dao weapon. For the infinite bad old master, this was a sign of his own lucky encounters coming into play. The Cloud sect was a force to behold. In fact, they were a sect that could even hold their own against the ancient race somewhat in the ancient saint world. Within the sect, there were tons of powerful beings to be found from all sorts of different races. Every single genius of every race out there was recruited in by the Cloud sect. Because of this, even the infinite bad old master was taking his steps warily, not daring to go head-on against the Cloud sect just like that. In the past, he had once sucked a disciple of the Cloud sect dry. For that, he was hunted down by several elders of the Cloud sect for a couple of days. Eventually, he was killed by one of the elders with just a single move. If not for the fact that one of his blood bats had barely managed to escape death and survive somewhere, he would have long disappeared from this world entirely. Even though you can swear that you wouldn't kill us, you'd definitely use your blood bats to just suck our essence and soul dry entirely. Do you take us for 3-year-old fools? Lin Fan scoffed coldly. HMPH. I gave you guys a path to life. Since you guys do not know how to cherish it, this old man here shall take every single one of your lives before seizing this Dao weapon for myself. At this moment, the infinite bad old master was angered. A tremendous aura emanated out from his body. It gushed over like fierce tidal waves, bent on swallowing Lin Fan whole. I'll cover while you guys make your escape. I'll look for you guys again once I get rid of this infinite bad old master. At this moment, Lin Fan wasn't fazed in the slightest as he slammed a punch out behind him. This single punch was boundless and devastating. Carrying with it Lin Fan's comprehension of the way of the fist, a figure of a fist god appeared, howling angrily. In a flash, tens of millions of punches rained down, scattering all the blood bats that were blocking their way previously. Take care of yourself. Fairy Hangyun understood that they couldn't possibly provide Lin Fan with any help given their current power level. In fact, they might even end up as burdens. Don't worry. These stinky bats are far from what it takes to kill me, Lin Fan replied. Looking at Lin Fan one last time, Tianyun cusped his fists together. Turning into a streak of light, the three of them left the place. The infinite bad old master did not stop them at all. After all, his target was Lin Fan. As long as Lin Fan was alive, it didn't matter whether or not those ants got to leave. Fairy Hong Yun and the others traveled at a really fast speed. In a jiffy, they were out of the vicinity of Infinite Bat Old Master's blood bats. Junior sister, do you think he'll be alright? Tianyun asked, slightly worried. I've got no idea, but I doubt anything will happen to him. Fairy Hong Yun couldn't reply with utmost confidence. Let us hurry up and seek out our elders and the others. If we can make it in time, we might even be able to return to help him with reinforcements. I guess that's the only way right now. At this moment, Lin Fan was in a standoff against the Infinite Bat Old Master. To the Infinite Bat Old Master, this fellow was already a piece of meat on the chopping board, readily available for grilling. Lad, not bad. Knowing that you can't defeat me, you sent them on their way away first. But, don't worry. Once this old man here is done with you, they wouldn't be able to escape from my hands either. The Infinite Bat Old Master laughed coldly. Huh? What's up with all the crap you're spouting? Yours truly is here to test out just how capable that paradise of yours is. Lin Fan tossed his robes back, filled with a splendid fighting intent. It was time for him to test out just how far off he was from a divine celestial level 3 paradise state being. Know your place, HMPH. Bat God's Nest. Suddenly, the Infinite Bat Old Master struck out with a fist. With that, a series of blood-colored circles rippled out, with his fist as the core. Enjoy your lifetime of suffering in this old man's paradise. That Tao weapon of yours shall be taken by this old man here for sure. The Infinite Bat Old Master looked at that precious Tao weapon lustfully. The aura being emanated from the demon city was causing the Infinite Bat Old Master to feel exceptionally excited. This was especially the case for that thick, aromatic scent of the bloodline of that weapon spirit. Infinite Bat Old Master could truly feel that if he were to be able to absorb even a little of that fresh blood, he would definitely be able to raise his paradise to the next level. Those blood-colored ripples expanded rapidly, and before Lin Fan knew it, he was encompassed within them. His surroundings were no longer bright, but stained blood red. Everything above him was blood red while pulsating continuously, as though it was a living piece of meat above him. However, Lin Fan knew clearly that those were the blood bats. This was the Infinite Bat Old Master's paradise. No matter the sort of living being it was, as long as they were trapped within this paradise, they would definitely find themselves sucked into a dried-up corpse by these blood bats. Lin Fan's favorite activity was to chop up monsters that were above his level. However, ever since he had become a divine celestial, he was starting to realize that every single state was a world of difference. If he wanted to kill monsters that were above his level like before, that would be way too difficult. However, one thing Lin Fan loved to do was to turn the impossible into a possible. So what if this was a divine celestial level 3 paradise state being? He wanted to use these very hands of his, along with the booster of the system of course, to suppress down every single last thing, and change every single impossible event into one that could happen. After all, he was someone who possessed a myriad of unparalleled skills that were leveled up and evolved, coupled with countless mythical items which possessed bug-like effects. This day here, he would go forth and have a good battle with this so-called divine celestial level 3 paradise state powerful being. Chapter 568 Chapter 568 Forcing me to release my big move. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ Infinite Bat Old Master, your acts of killing and snatching treasures from other people had nothing to do with me initially. However, to think that you would have the audacity to try and snatch my treasure? We'll just have to see if you've got the capabilities then. Lin Fan's body jerked a little as all his true skill seeds revolved around him in a circular motion. The figure of skill spirits stood above every single one of the true skill seeds. These skill spirits were born from the skills themselves. In a single motion, lightning flashed and the winds howled, destroying everything nearby. Suddenly, Lin Fan struck out with a flurry of fist strikes, turning them into a torrent of skills. The torrent consisted of the comprehension, wisdom, and truth of every single one of Lin Fan's skills. In fact, it even possessed many unknown truths of martial arts in itself. Huh? To think that a human such as yourself could possess capabilities as such. The moment this man from the human race struck with that formidable aura, Infinite Bat Old Master could feel slight tremors in his own paradise. At this moment, Lin Fan did not hold back at all. Combining his mental self and his spirit, he entered the ultimate state of martial arts. Every single fist, every single slap, every single sword will of his, each and every one of these raised his essence and soul to his peak status. Heaven-devouring bat god, with a shrill cry, the infinite bat old master's body burst forth with a beam of red light. The moment this beam burst forth, all of the blood bats within the paradise were attracted over to it instantly. Screech, screech. That infinite amount of blood bats started gathering together. Bam, bam, bam. The blood bats began to self-destruct one by one, turning into a thick blood mist. However, the mist possessed some sort of consciousness within itself, merging together continuously. From within this mist came the repeated screeches of the blood bats. Finally, a gigantic king of blood bats, that was around tens of thousands of feet tall, floated gently at the top of the paradise. This was the bat god. Wielding a pair of bloodshot eyes, it glared at Lin Fan intently. That gigantic malevolent mouth of it looked ready to devour the entire world. Flapping its huge wings, a hurricane whirled towards Lin Fan instantly. HMPH. Seems like your cultivation state is only that of a divine celestial level 2 realm state being. How dare you pit yourself against this old man here with that sort of power? Today, this old master here shall make use of your fresh blood as tribute to the bat god. The moment the infinite bat old master struck out at Lin Fan, he had already discovered Lin Fan's cultivation state. Divine celestial level 2. Even though he was rather strong, he was still far off compared to the infinite bat old master himself. While this blood god nest wasn't a perfectly crafted paradise just yet, it wasn't something that a mere ant from the realm state could break through. However, the infinite bat old master was suddenly stumped by something. The moment the bat god within his paradise made contact with that skill torrent of this human, it began to screech out in anguish. How could this be? The infinite bat old master roared in shock, evidently unable to believe everything before his very eyes right now. At this moment, Lin Fan entered a realm of his battle intent that could only be described as being more mysterious than mysterious. He couldn't be bothered with anything before his eyes at all. Slapping out hundreds of palms into the void, the demon city swiveled and danced in the air while the big ancient demon howled repeatedly. A titanic arm grabbed out in the direction of the bat god. Even though this bat god is just a culmination of the innumerable blood bats, it possesses a significant amount of power, given that it has already absorbed the blood of many powerful beings. The big ancient demon howled out wildly. Suddenly, as though the big ancient demon had awakened a gift within himself, a myriad of skills that Lin Fan had never known about were unleashed by it, repressing the bat god. Damn it. There's only the old man here who's allowed to devour others. There has been no one else who could turn the tables on me. Noticing that the big ancient demon was trying to swallow up his paradise, the infinite bat old master cried out in anger. Ancestors, bestow upon me the powers to call upon the descent of darkness into this world. Black Heaven's Bat Kings. In that instant, the infinite bat old master squeezed 100,000 Shenyang pills to explosion as he sprayed out a mouthful of essence blood into the sky, scattering it around the paradise. Absorbing this mysterious energy, the blood bats screeched wildly as they started changing as well. B*****. You've completely riled up this old man over here. Right now, even if I have to exhaust the essence blood of my core, I shall have you killed right here. The infinite bat old master had not expected this human to be so hard to deal with. At the same time, the infinite bat old master was getting even thirstier towards the Dao weapon. In his eyes, this Dao weapon was simply way too strong. Smelly bat. I'll just have to see how many mouthfuls of essence blood you can spit out. I'm only afraid that you won't have enough essence blood to finish up. Lin Fan mocked with a cold laughter while maintaining his hand motions. These blood bats seemed to have undergone some sort of metamorphosis, as they grew ever larger than before. The violent nature within them seemed to be turning ever more berserk. Those originally blood-red bodies of theirs turned jet black, glimmering with a ghastly glow. At the same time, their bodies were lined with some sort of dense scales. These scales seemed like pores of some demonic being, emitting that eerie gleam all over them. The Bat God, which was initially on the losing end, turned the tables instantly. Flipping his body over, he was now the one suppressing the big ancient demon. Master, give me 5 million Shengyang pills. With that, I can crush this smelly bat to death with ease. The big ancient demon bellowed. Give your mother. At this point, Lin Fan was somewhat speechless. Now that he was entirely broke, this big ancient demon was demanding yet another 5 million? He didn't even have 500,000 to begin with. Flying heavens, in a flash, Lin Fan's body moved as he released the flying heavens. Within it, the Marquis of Despair and Long Zhan dived right into the void, tunneling through it continuously. In the blink of an eye, a bright flash shone while they burst out of it, piercing through the Black Heavens Bat Kings one time after another. However, the Black Heavens Bat Kings were packed together densely. Killing all of them just like that was impossible. However, the moment the infinite Bat Old Master caught sight of flying heavens, he cried out with a loss of control over himself, to think that there's yet another Dao weapon. How could a mere human such as yourself possess such riches? Ha ha. The heavens are blessing me, the infinite Bat Old Master indeed. To think that this would be the day of reaping for the infinite Bat Old Master. The infinite Bat Old Master laughed out maniacally. His eyes were practically filled with cravings right now. In the eyes of the infinite Bat Old Master, Lin Fan was just a man with tons of treasures, but didn't have the befitting power that he should have. Zigwang, there's too many of these Black Heavens Bat Kings. We've got to think of a way to kill that Bat God. Master is simply way too poor. To think that he doesn't have any Shengyang pills with him at all. If there were some Shengyang pills available, I could definitely pierce through this paradise, realm of hope. Within the flying heavens, the Marquis of Despair Zigwang and Long Zhan were leading a life of utmost bliss that anyone would envy. Due to that, the power of despair was now converted into the power of hope. At that moment, the flying heavens emitted a boundless white flash. Like a sharp blade, this white flash pierced itself through the Black Heavens Bat Kings. Screech. Screech. The Black Heavens Bat Kings were screeching in pain, as though this aura was extremely repugnant to them. Unexpected. To think that this is a weapon spirit who had even comprehended the realm state. Just what sort of an ancient race being was it who had crafted a weapon such as this? This is beyond one's imaginations. The infinite Bat Old Master could not believe everything before his eyes right now. He could feel his mental spirit rattling at this moment. Shocking. This was way too shocking. It would be hard for anyone to swallow such facts. By now, Lin Fan was pretty displeased with the infinite Bat Old Master. That old man was just floating around in the sky without striking out at all. All he did was to control these bats to attack left and right. It was as though he was trying to expend all of Lin Fan's energy before coming in for the final blow. However, this paradise of the infinite Bat Old Master was simply way too cumbersome to deal with. It was as though the Black Heavens Bat Kings were infinite in number. Even after killing them, these Black Heavens Bat Kings were just respawning everywhere. If he couldn't come up with a plan to wipe out all of them, he might truly be exhausted to no ends. Damn it. You're really forcing me to release my big move. Lin Fan's eyes sparkled. He couldn't take this anymore. Since this was the case, so be it then, yours truly shall take the time to have some fun with you. Chapter 569 Chapter 569, The War Between a Man and Bat. That's intolerable to witness. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_punch of Bigra, Master. At a critical moment as such, obviously, I'm the most reliable one you can depend on. The moment Lin Fan unleashed his realm, a teenager draped in red dashed out. Looking shiftier and dodgier than any other thing in this world, every single bounce of his steps emitted a thick, white mist. Lin Fan was thoroughly exasperated with these skill spirits by now. Each and every one of them was cockier than the other. Being able to turn Bigra into a skill and infusing it into a realm thereafter wasn't something that Lin Fan had planned out for from the start. However, by the looks of it, all of these were the system's credit. After all, the system possessed this function called fusion. Even though Lin Fan had rarely used it in the past, he realized that its potential was fully unleashed by the time he had cultivated out his realm thoroughly. Master is deploying Bigra now. It's time for us to run. Flying heavens pierced through all the Black Heavens Bat Kings in the sky. However, the moment they caught sight of that white mist permeating through the paradise, Zigwang and Long Zan both shouted out in panic. It was as though they were encountering something utterly horrifying, as they disappeared from the paradise instantly, reappearing by Lin Fan's side. "Master, please don't cause any accidental injuries." The big ancient demon was tied in a locked struggle with the bat god right now and didn't pay much attention to the mist. Looking at the thickening mist, the infinite bat old master was filled with confusion as well, wondering just what in the world that was. Black heavens, bat kings, devour that mist. Now that victory was seemingly right before his very eyes, the infinite bat old master did not wish for any mishaps to happen. Even though he did not know what the mist was, the Black Heavens Bat Kings were able to suck in everything within this world and turn them into nutrients for themselves. Screech. Screech. The densely packed Black Heavens Bat Kings pounced over at this sky-encompassing thick mist before gulping it in mouthful after mouthful, without a single bit of hesitation. The spirit of Bigra was dumbfounded at the sight of these smelly bats taking in the Bigra so happily. It was as though he had never once expected that any living being would take in Bigra so willingly on their own. Looking at the gradually diminishing mist, the infinite bat old master laughed wildly. "Ha ha, what other moves have you got? Lay them all out." This old man here had only intended to get his hands on the Dao weapon at first. "But by the looks of things right now, it seems like I've got to suck your mind dry and get hold of all of your knowledge. Even though your skills aren't anything much, I've got to admit that they're pretty interesting." The infinite bat old master laughed out sinisterly. However, in that instant, the infinite bat old master's laughter suddenly stopped as though someone was choking his neck. That grim and sinister face was beginning to flush bright red. "You." The infinite bat old master's gaze shone with fear as he stumbled backward, glaring at Lin Fan in utter shock. "What the f***'s going on here? Don't tell me that this guy's affected by the Black Heavens Bat Kings sucking in the Bigra." Looking at the state the infinite bat old master was in right now, Lin Fan was puzzled. But soon enough, Lin Fan understood. Naturally, all the essence and souls that the Black Heavens Bat Kings sucked in would definitely be transferred over to the infinite bat old master. Now that these Black Heavens Bat Kings were lapping up the Bigra for free, the end result would be the transfer of Bigra to the infinite bat old master. Bigra was a mystical godly object. No matter how strong one was, as long as one was to take it in, he or she would definitely know of a world worse than death. Screech. Screech. Suddenly, the Black Heavens Bat Kings began to cry out as well. Eventually, they were diving at Lin Fan in swarms. However, at this moment, they were shaking left and right as though they were drunk. The red light in their eyes shone more brilliantly than ever before. Thud. Thud. The fluttering of their wings was in a thorough state of confusion right now. However, the next thing that happened was absolutely astonishing for Lin Fan. These Black Heavens Bat Kings began to turn around and look at one another. These beings of the same breed that they had never ever bothered about in the past were looking ever so alluring right now. Holy f***ck. This is utterly savage. Turning his head around, Lin Fan's face was totally helpless. This was simply way too beastly. How could they commit such an audacity? At this moment, the Bat God, which was suppressing down the big ancient demon, was going berserk as well. The big ancient demon shuddered for a moment. He had realized that the eyes of the Bat God were set ablaze suddenly, as though it had suddenly discovered something amazing. "Big ancient demon. Hurry up and return or you'll be in big trouble." Lin Fan shouted out to the big ancient demon. The big ancient demon looked at Lin Fan, then at the Bat God. Without any hesitation, he retreated back into the demon city immediately. The moment the big ancient demon withdrew into the demon city, the Bat God pounced on it as though it was ready to duke out a full 300 rounds with him. Sweeping his robes, Lin Fan kept the demon city in immediately. If the big ancient demon were to be attacked by the Bat God, he might end up losing his will to live. He might feel as though his body wasn't pure anymore if he were to be tainted by a bat. The moment the demon city disappeared, the Bat God turned his gaze to Lin Fan. Lin Fan felt his heart jerk for a moment. Something felt amiss. Stealth, Lin Fan knew that he must never exchange blows with anyone who had consumed Bigra. After all, any living being would definitely turn extremely shameless after taking in Bigra. One must definitely not look at them like normal beings. Arg. B****. What in the world is this mist? The infinite bat old master hollered. Within his heart, an unknown energy was rumbling furiously, as though it was bent on taking over his consciousness. At this moment, Lin Fan, who had entered stealth mode, remained entirely motionless and mute as he floated gently in the paradise. The infinite bat old master was howling in a frenzy. Just as he was sensing the fact that he was about to lose all control to that unknown energy, he realized that the Black Heaven King Bats and the Bat God had him surrounded. All of these bloodshot eyes were fixated on the infinite bat old master. Within these eyes, the infinite bat old master could make out an endless amount of excitement. Adding on to his horror, he could make out something black and thick standing upright in the middle of the legs of the Black Heaven's King Bats. They were like mountain peaks, standing extremely sturdy. What are you guys trying to do? The infinite bat old master felt his anus tightening up as a feeling of dread filled his heart. Screech. Screech. The reply that the infinite bat old master got was a series of wild screeches coming from those Black Heaven's King Bats that lined the entire sky. In their eyes, the infinite bat old master was their favorite being in the entire world right now. Bat God's nest. Infinite bats. Disappear. Before the infinite bat old master could finish his sentence, he was drowned by all those Black Heaven's King Bats. As for the Bat God, he was just focusing on the bottoms of the infinite bat old master. But of course, one should wonder what this bottom was referring to. Tragic cries were mixed with the screeches. What followed closely was appearance of the infinite bat old master, who was entirely disoriented by the Bigra by now. The powers that were bursting forth from him right now were wilder than when he was trying to suppress Lin Fan, way stronger. With that ginormous hand, he caught hold of the Bat God. His red robes fluttered through the sky as his long hair danced as well. This cruel war between man and bat had begun. The paradise vibrated violently while a rain of blood was sprayed over the entire place. Lin Fan could not even bear to turn his head over. This is a spectacle way too horrible to endure. This massive war had gone way beyond Lin Fan's imagination. The spirit of Bigra crossed his arms and hugged both of his shoulders, smiling sheepishly. At this moment, it was as though he was completely satisfied with his doings. As for Zigwang and Long Zhan, they were just staring with their jaws agape in utter shock. Completely inhumane. Translators thoughts lamb ha ha ha. Well, I just want to see the end outcome of the infinite bat old master by now. Hue. Cheers. Chapter 570. Chapter 570, The Indignance of the Infinite Bat Old Master's Death. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ The Sovereign King Lin Fan had not expected things to turn out this way either. After all, how could such a savage scene exist within the confines of this world? This was an utter disgrace to public morals. However, this was a pretty pleasing scene for Lin Fan nevertheless. After all, the infinite bat old master was a divine celestial level 3 paradise state being, whose powers were above him by quite a fair amount. However, all of that difference in strength was established within that paradise of his. The infinite bat old master could be considered as an emperor who possessed a vast amount of land under his name. However, he did not have any soldiers of his own. On the contrary, Lin Fan was someone without that same amount of land, but with countless of soldiers under him. This was an intrinsic difference. If Lin Fan were to cultivate out his paradise state, he would be able to take down beings like the infinite bat old master with the back of his palms. With that being said, now that the power that was unleashed by Bigra had already desecrated the assaults of the infinite bat old master, the remaining task was extremely simple for Lin Fan. However, the sheer number of densely packed Black Heaven's Bat Kings were still a tricky thing to deal with. After all, if he didn't kill all of them entirely, he might attract some of their flack onto him. These Black Heaven's Bat Kings had already lost their mind under the influence of Bigra. The only thing in their heads right now was finding living beings to penetrate. If Hong Yun and the others were to catch sight of the infinite bat old master's state right now, their eyeballs would definitely pop right out of their sockets. That terrifying and frightening infinite bat old master was such a savage being. So savage that he wouldn't even let bats off. Lin Fan's initial plan was to use the flying heavens to penetrate through the infinite Bat Old Master while he was distracted. However, looking at the current pitiable expressions given off by Zigwang and Long Zhan, Lin Fan could only sigh helplessly. Seemed like such a twisted scene could cause even weapon spirits to feel fear. However, Lin Fan suddenly recalled the words of Fairy Hangyun. This infinite Bat Old Master was extremely difficult to kill. He wondered what sort of difficulty level that would be. True Origin's crushing kick, stretching out his leg, the entire void trembled as his true skill seed churned. If he had to use his hands to take down this crazy amount of Black Heaven's Bat Kings, he wouldn't even know how long it would take to finish through them. Instantly, the paradise began to vibrate immensely, as those legs which were filled with True Origin slammed out towards the Black Heaven's Bat Kings. Damned human! I'll be sure to kill you and suck all of your essence and soul dry. I'll turn you into a dried-up corpse. The infinite Bat Old Master howled in anger. However, despite that enraged expression of his bodily actions betrayed his intents. At this moment, a Black Heaven's Bat King was caught in the hands of the infinite Bat Old Master, which he was using to play with himself mercilessly. Damn it! The infinite Bat Old Master was about to go crazy by now. He wanted to stop. However, his body wouldn't allow it. Infinite Bat Old Master, don't scream any longer. Just take the time to enjoy your deepest desires thoroughly and follow your heart to the peak of your life. Lin Fan was spouting *T with an absolutely straight face. True Origin's crushing kick was one of the 4 great evil skills in Lin Fan's arsenal. Even though these evil skills had yet to reach their peak cultivation states, their current strength was already heaven-defying enough. These were skills that were unique to Lin Fan. Within this entire world, he was the only who could deploy them. Bam, bam. A series of exploding sounds rang through the sky. Under the might of this kick, the Black Heaven's Bat Kings began to drop to the ground, spasming uncontrollably as they were sapped of every single bit of their fighting strength. They wanted to fly up once more, but they were tormented to the depth of their souls by that feeling of pain. Screech, screech. These shrill cries were sorrowful beyond anything else. If they could speak in human language, they would definitely be cursing out at Lin Fan right now. At this moment, the infinite Bat Old Master's figure finally appeared. Without any bit of hesitation, Lin Fan took out his eternal axe immediately. Destruction, the swing of that axe seemed to be cleaving through the entire heaven and earth, as a frightening axe flash tore through the paradise towards the infinite Bat Old Master. This was a formidable amount of force. There was no way this totally unprepared infinite Bat Old Master could resist it, as he was split into 2 instantly. Indeed, he is pretty hard to kill. Lin Fan frowned. Without hearing the notification from the system, he naturally knew that the infinite Bat Old Master wasn't dead just yet. You'll never kill me. Instantly, the infinite Bat Old Master howled out in anger, within this paradise, you can never, ever kill me. HMPH, there's no one in this world who can't die. Lin Fan snorted coldly. He would definitely not believe the words of the infinite Bat Old Master. After all, even now that he had mastered Blood C till its 9th level, rebirth through blood, he dared not claim that he would never ever die. How could a bloody infinite Bat Old Master claim the same? The brightness in Lin Fan's eyes expanded out. In a flash, he sent out thousands of punches that were accompanied with a myriad of skills. For Lin Fan, the art of combining skills together was something that he had mastered to an extremely proficient state. Nirvana finger, Lin Fan's long robes danced in the air as he floated gently in the void. Using his finger as a pointer, ripples flowed out one by one, causing the paradise to rip apart bit by bit. With that ripple, tens of millions of Black Heaven's Bat Kings were disintegrated instantly. The infinite Bat Old Master died countless times as well. However, he would resurrect before Lin Fan each time he died. ****. You'll never be able to kill this old man here. Even though I've got no idea what you've done to me, I can feel the effects of this weird thing that you've placed within me gradually dissipating. The moment this old man here can fully resist this power, I'll make sure you know of a fate worse than death." The infinite Bat Old Master was howling out with bloodshot eyes. Lin Fan lowered his head into contemplation. Was this infinite Bat Old Master truly unkillable? But that was impossible as well. There were no living beings in this world that couldn't be killed. In fact, even the Ancient One, who was one of the utmost beings, would definitely die one day as well. Therefore, the infinite Bat Old Master must definitely be depending on this paradise. Add some more ingredients for him. Lin Fan tossed out his hand and handed the matter over to the spirit of Bigra. Yes, Master, by now, the Black Heavens Bat Kings that were killed by the infinite Bat Old Master himself amounted to the hundreds. After all that endless releases that he was venting out, the Bigra within his body was gradually diminishing. Hey, smelly bat. Don't look down on me. The spirit of Bigra giggled evilly. With that, a thick, dense mist floated up and spread out once again, covering the infinite Bat Old Master under his frightful cry. Master. I've realized that each time you kill the infinite Bat Old Master, hundreds of Black Heavens Bat Kings would blow up. I'm suspecting that the reason behind his infinite resurrections should have something to do with these Black Heavens Bat Kings. Long Zan, who had been observing the fight the entire time, suddenly spoke up. Oh, is that the case? Pointing out his finger, a single sword will howled out, ripping the infinite Bat Old Master apart before turning its focus onto the paradise. Indeed, it was just as Long Zan had mentioned, the moment the infinite Bat Old Master died, hundreds of Black Heavens Bat Kings would explode, turning into a blood mist and fusing within the paradise. Seems like this is the reason for your infinite resurrections. Now, the next time around, you may not be able to revive anymore. Lin Fan laughed. Damn it. The infinite Bat Old Master's face was extremely grim right now. To think that his trick would be exposed by this guy. Lin Fan did not want to say anything else. Wielding his eternal axe, he shut his eyes slightly as his essence, spirit, and vitality skyrocketed. His skills gathered, causing a brilliant light to shine upon his eternal axe. This light converted into a small spot, with all of the energy converging into it. The amount of power that it possessed right now was enough to shock just about anybody. Even though it might be unrealistic to say that I can break through your entire paradise, it would definitely be no issue for me to kill all of your Black Heavens Bat Kings though. Lin Fan stepped forth. Wielding the eternal axe with both his hands, he cleaved down at the paradise with a force as though he was slamming down on the heaven and earth itself. The infinite Bat Old Master screamed out from the bottom of his heart. To think that he would fall in the hands of a single human. That unkillable and imperishable body of his. How in the world did it get seen through by a mere human? This wasn't something he could accept at all. The flash appeared. This was a cleave that possessed all the energy, spirit, and vitality of Lin Fan within it. Slicing through the void, nothing that the axe passed by continued to live post its appearance. Before they could even finish their shrieks, countless Black Heavens Bat Kings found themselves turned into dust, before disappearing into the paradise. Bam! A gigantic vibration reverberated through the paradise. With that, all those uncountable Black Heavens Bat Kings disappeared entirely, as the infinite Bat Old Master himself was cleaved into dust as well. Ding, congratulations on killing infinite Bat Old Master. Ding, experience points plus 200,000. Ding, congratulations on obtaining Paradise Shard. Ding, congratulations on obtaining infinite Bat's imperishable magic. This wasn't something that Lin Fan had expected. To think that the infinite Bat Old Master would bring about such a fair amount of experience points along with a skill. The Paradise Shard of the infinite Bat Old Master wasn't as resolute as that of the Sovereign King Wei's. Therefore, Lin Fan smelted this immediately and tossed it into his realm, allowing it to make up for the shortcomings of his own realm. This would allow it to turn sturdier and stronger, in order to pave the path forward for his paradise in the future. However, the infinite Bat imperishable magic was giving Lin Fan some headaches right now. Master, if you were to let me learn this infinite Bat imperishable magic, I would definitely turn stronger. The big ancient demon said. Lin Fan flipped through the infinite Bat imperishable magic. This was an extremely dark skill. However, it was indeed pretty decent for the big ancient demon. Therefore, Lin Fan tossed it over to the big ancient demon and had him learn it for himself. Master, hurry up and create some Shengyang pills. Otherwise, our cultivation speeds are simply way too slow. The big ancient demon added on. The moment Lin Fan heard the words of the big ancient demon, he was rendered speechless immediately. F***ck. He calls that cultivation speed slow? However, on second thought, Lin Fan could see the logic in the big ancient demon's words. It was true that things would be much easier with the presence of Shengyang pills. Even though this infinite bat old master was sticky to deal with, if he had an indefinite amount of Shengyang pills to expend, the paradise of this infinite bat old master would definitely be bursting wide open. But, it was a pity that it wasn't easy getting his hands on those Shengyang pills. Which powerful being would be dumb enough to hinder their own cultivation speeds, all for some Shengyang pills?